Bun. Cine putea să deschidă mai bine sesiunea de cybersecurity decât nimeni altul, decât prietenul asociației, până la urmă, domnul Dan Cîmpean, director în cadrul Directoratului Național pentru Securitate Cibernetică. Dan,
okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. Is this thing working? Yes. We'll do it in English because I saw my prior speakers did it in English out of courtesy for our foreign guests. Thank you so much, Hugo, about introducing me as the bad guy, the regulatory authority that has to come with regulatory measures and ideas. The fact of the matter is that we are not really the bad guys always. We have to worry about what's going on in cybersecurity domain. We have to worry about what goes on with our infrastructures, and we have to, amongst others, we have to come with some good ideas of regulatory acts, whether they are national level or the European ones that we have to translate in local law and roll out and implement them together with you guys. Of course, in a previous life, I was on your side. I was never a CIO, I have to say. I audited them, I advised them, I did all kinds of projects and initiatives with them. But I can claim I know their pain and I know how worried they are each time something new comes in the picture, and sometimes a regulatory authority thinks about issuing some rules. The first reflex is like, oops, this is going to be a cost for my business, and I'm going to struggle in asking for more budget, more resources, more this, more that, through that. And what I want to share with you now, and I propose to myself to move a bit away from the very, very, very dry NIS directive, Cyber Resilience Act, and many, many, many other regulatory elements that are coming to us. It's a tsunami of regulatory initiatives at European level and at national level in many European states. I wanted to link it with the very topic of the event today, AI, and showcase to you some elements, invite you to think about those, and I will put just the punchlines and say, this is how a regulatory authority is going to tackle this. So you have an idea about what's going to come. So it's a mix of bad news and good news. Now, my favorite approach is always to quote analysts. And actually, I look at one report from a very nice one, Info Security Magazine, a recent one, August. And I was a bit surprised to see that apparently 8% of everything that was meaning increase in cyber attacks during this calendar year was coming from two sources, AI and USBs. So the good old USBs. You can have the slides, they are TLP green, use them in any way you want, except publishing them on internet. So AI, it's gearing up. And here I have to quote someone from my family that really knows what AI means. I mean, a PhD candidate. She told me, it's my daughter, she told me if it is on PowerPoint, it's AI, if it is Python, that's machine learning, reinforced learning, deep learning, and many, many, many other types of learning. But it seems that 8% is coming from this direction. Not to mention the traditional USB devices, so be careful, again, what you get at events, conferences, and what you plug into your machine. And very, very interesting ways of using, very innovative ways to use AI in offensive mode, in defensive mode. And when we think about ransomware, when we think about phishing, when we think about all kinds of frauds and cyber-related frauds, it's absolutely obviously that AI is used even for those things. So it's coming, it's there. Of course, as a regulatory authority, the first question I get from public and from everywhere is like, hey guys, what are you doing about this? Do you come with some kind of measure? Do you discuss with the industry? Do you discuss with CISOs? Are they impacted? Are they worried? Answer is yes, we plan to do something, but it's very, very complicated. Now, that's a favorite slide I have, and I will keep it only for 30 seconds on the screen. Attacks and vectors for attack, they are going in all directions. But what is very, very interesting, and you see it from this slide that I particularly like, they go up and down. They are periodical, and periodical by industry, periodically by type of attack, and each of those lines actually means hundreds of CISOs interviewed. And it seems when someone has a problem with the type of attack, whether it's, let's say, AI-driven or human-driven or driven by one technology, by one technique or another, everyone pretty much in the same industry or nationwide or European-wide has the same kind of problem, pretty much at the same moment. So my key takeaway from here is like, watch the trends. Look here, if it is going up the way it is with denial of service now, it's going to go up. It's like the weather prediction. The next few days will be cloudy and it's going to rain. So the message to you as CISOs, be careful about what goes on, look at the statistics, and don't look always and only at your own data. Yeah? Look also at what analysts say, regulatory organizations say, security service providers say. Now, and here I come with the regulatory elements. When we look at AI, fundamentally what we care about from a regulatory perspective, what is on the screen. So first, AI is not used for malicious purpose. And second, we make use of AI to improve cybersecurity. It's as simple as that. Maybe it's way too simplistic, but these are the two major elements any regulatory authority I was discussing with, whether in Europe or outside Europe, this is the way they want to tackle it. Of course, and here is the bad news for my organization, we are not experts in AI. I don't have like 10 people specialized in machine learning and people that knew how to build an engine and how to train it and how to deal with it. And I guess pretty much with few exceptions, like we saw the case of Carrefour a bit earlier, maybe most of you don't have either specialized teams in AIs that can answer to you regarding these 2 points, how we can make sure that we don't get hit by an AI-driven attack, or how we can make sure that if we are using AI for our own organization, this is not going to get compromised, misused, attacked in any way, form, and shape. And as a regulatory authority, I have to come with some good ideas and impress you all guys, in Romania at least, and say, we had a brilliant idea to issue some rules. I have no idea whether it's going to be a law, a government decision, or an order from the Directorate to kind of frame this and put rules in place. For the moment, at this moment, despite the multiple discussions that happen at European level, whether it's NIS, cyber resilience framework, AI, regulatory ideas, the truth is that at this moment it's Wild West. So there are no particular enforceable rules from cyber regulatory authorities in most of the countries. And no one was able to get it right yet, because simply it's very, very complicated, but we have solutions. So, as I said, we look from a dual perspective. AI as an attacker tool, that's what worries me a lot, that obviously, and we see it, phishing mails, they are getting better and better because they write them by ChatGPT or others. So no more mistakes, they look like written by humans, they look credible. And they find better and better ways to bypass your security mechanism and our security mechanism. So our good old traditional security frameworks, everything from ISO 27001 to ISMS and many others, they model it and they use AI in order to find ways to bypass everything from your policies to technical measures. So think about it. And of course, and this makes it even more complicated, AI as a target itself. So as I said, I'm a complete dummy in AI. I have no clue. I'm a user of it. Someone else at home showed me that I know 0.01% of what AI is, and she knows the rest of 99.999. So in order to exploit, and that's good news actually, in order to exploit an AI tool for malicious purposes, first of all, you get to know what that solution is about, what the software is about, how it's working, what are its own vulnerabilities, how to exploit them, etc., etc. So that's still good news, but they are learning very, very, very fast. Now, a bit about what we see, and I wanted to share this with you in particular. Just a few thoughts, of course, spam, etc., all kind of attacks, phishing, probe attacks, the DDoS, unauthorized access of any way, form, and shape. They are trying and successfully using AI in this. It's also used very, very successful, in particular by defenders on spam detection, intrusion detection, malware detection. So anomalies in the network, anomalies in traffic, pretty much okay. But what is very, very interesting, we tend, as IT people, as security people, we are not data scientists, we are not AI experts, we tend to forget that AI techniques basically systematically fail to detect everything that is new, whether it's new type of attack, if we want to defend, or if it is, let's say, new configuration, new behavior of my infrastructure or stuff like that. So let's not forget about this. It has limitations. AI itself is not the magic solution for everything, whether you are in defense or in offensive. Now, I come to the good news, and I link those directly to the regulatory measures. So the good old security by design, it's working. AI, bottom line, it's another IT system. Let's call it like that. So we believe, and I guess most of the regulatory authorities will push in this direction. So we'll really enforce that secure coding practices and software development, the good old software development, it's enforceable for AI. Testing again, like for any other software you put in your own infrastructure, you know, very strong design and well-documented design, audit trails, logs, and all the good stuff. And of course, risk assessment and thinking about what are the threats and modeling. So actually, fundamentally, many professionals from regulatory authorities I discuss with, they have the same view. It's another software, and we need to enforce good practices for software development, software testing, risk assessment, and so on. Of course, it's a new category of software, so very complicated. We have to understand it a bit better. And in all honesty, we collectively, we not always succeed in doing all those elements for traditional software. Now we have to apply just to another class, more sophisticated, more complex. But it seems good old security by design may work. So I hope if you get a question in your own organization from the C-level or from your colleagues, say, let's do this, and at least we'll cover part of our problems. Now, just a few thoughts about attacks on AI systems themselves. So I thought, how can someone attack an AI system? Intuitively, of course, you do denial of service on the portal, on ChatGPT, could be a kind of attack, or on the app that you use in your own organization. What we see the most dangerous ones are actually these that I mentioned on the screen. So in the very first place, exploiting and building vulnerabilities in open source software. Let's not forget how many problems there were and there are still with GitHub, GitLab, and all the open source repositories available there that our IT guys, they take them, boom, boom, they install, and it's running, it's free, it's open source, we have no issues. And many of those, on purpose, they have built-in backdoors and vulnerabilities. And because we don't test them sufficiently and we don't review the code sufficiently, we bring problems in our infrastructure. But for AI, poisoning the data, the training data, because for any AI engine, as we all know, theoretically at least, we have to train it. Apparently, there are many, many sophisticated ways designed to poison and to fake the training data in such a way that really the AI engine follows certain patterns, certain predictions. Imagine that you poison the training data, so your AI engine does not detect any more attacks or malware, or it's pointing you and your security team to a different kind of attack, slightly different flavor, slightly different version of the attack that you want to detect. And you think you got it, and in reality it's going on and on and on in a low and slow mode. The same for alteration of the test examples to alter predictions of AI systems. Of course, normally this is all the concern of the providers of AI engines. But what if you are critically relying on such provider, or you build one such system in your own organization or using it in the business, because the business colleagues are asking and they say, we want it and we have to have it. So let's not forget, fundamentally, we as regulatory authorities, we have to really come measures of these two natures. Prevent AI to being used in cyber attacks, and prevent also attacks on AI tools. And that's what you will have to do as well. So every regulatory act that you will see will be in this direction. And now to come back particularly on NIS2, let me give you a piece of bad news. We are seriously thinking, first of all, in Romania to get an all-inclusive approach. So basically we want all the sectors, all the economic sectors that are listed there to be included in the scope of NIS2 directive translated in Romanian law. And we have deadline, I guess it's precisely in 1 year from now, 24th of October. So we have 364 days to go. So first of all those domains will be included in the scope. And yes, we want to specifically include something about AI as security control measure, because we expect most of the organizations that will be subject to the regulatory measures under NIS2 will use AI as a security control. So we want to tackle this one way or another. I don't have yet the piece of text, otherwise I would put it on the screen and say, hey, solution already here, problem solved. This is the way the text is going to look like. We are working on that, and we consult with the industry for this. But for sure will be something about this in the draft law that we are going to propose. Now, and I promise this is the last slide, and then I open for questions or comments or remarks of any kind. When it's coming to, in particular, cybersecurity regulatory, cybersecurity related to a new technology like AI in all its flavors, I think we have to stop being professionally arrogant and thinking that we can fix everything by ourselves. And we have to get back and be modest and humble and acknowledge the fact that one organization by itself in isolation stands no chance. If you don't cooperate, if you don't discuss, if you don't share good practices, ideas, and you don't work, and we want to work this way, governmental bodies, private sector businesses, researchers, and international partners, we believe we are never going to achieve the level of maturity, the level of resilience we want. So the paradigm is that, in particular, concerning AI and security topic, we have to work this way, whether it is regulatory aspect, whether it is good practices in general, whether it is, let's say, technical or non-technical, specific, very narrow, very focused security measures that we want to put in place. And it's still a long way to go. Personally, I don't believe AI is just another buzzword like cloud. We all know cloud. 20 years ago, cloud was just a data center, and then marketing people came in and they package it and they sold it differently. I truly believe AI is kind of different. I think it's more powerful than we believe, and we are going very soon to be more dependent on it than we think. And the problem is no longer in my hands or in your hands. We are the passé generation, so we are gone. Actually, the solution and the problem for all our struggle will be the young guys, the school girls and school boys that already are using it now as we speak in a very, very intuitive manner, that are native digital, native mobile, and they talk to each other, and actually they get their knowledge, with all due respect for the CEO Council, not from here, they get it from each other. So we have to cascade everything we discuss here in our serious professional work. Also, let's not forget to the young generation, work with all these building blocks in all this format. And personally, that's why I'm super, super happy that you were so nice and invited me here. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Dan. Any question from the audience? I know you're in a hurry, but my understanding is the following. So we can use AI to attack a company or a system or to defend ourselves, right? So one of the things I've noticed, you said, okay, AI failed to, when used as a defense, failed to recognize the new type of attacks, which leads me to the image of the fact that attacking is more advanced than defending using AI. So is it the right, is it the right flavor? So is AI, AI could be used more as an attack by an attacker rather than a defense system?
All the data I have at hand and all the conversation I had with professionals point in this direction. So this moment, definitely the attacking side has the upper hand. So they are more advanced, more innovative in writing scripts with the use of AI, in identifying vulnerabilities. And let me give just basic examples. Imagine that someone gets your technical documentation, your architecture information, your procedures, your policies, your configuration, and I don't know, administrator manuals, etc., and load them in an AI platform. Of course, we'll know basically everything your defenders know. So it will be much easier from an attacker to do it, rather than the opposite, to have an unknown attacker with a very new, weird, innovative way of exploiting vulnerabilities and trying to find a solution to that attack. And it's a real concern. There were many cases, and be careful about this, about data loss prevention countermeasures, and have them in place. Be careful with the info you have from your own organization. Technical information in particular, security checklist, standard operating procedures, manuals, everything. Because if that info, although it's basic and standard, gets loaded in one of those engines and starts being, let's say, used in malicious way, you have a big target, a big bullseye mark on you and your own organization. And will not be able yet, I hope in 2 years will be the opposite, will not be able yet to get all of us together to find better and faster ways and practical ways to use AI in order to counterattack. So I think to close on your question, attackers still have the upper hand at this moment.
Okay, so there is more job for us. I've noticed, which is a little bit scary at the beginning of your presentation, AI plus USBs increase the number of cyber attacks with 8% or something. I mean, USBs are still used. I mean, it's unbelievable.
True, that's true.
Okay,
and it's a very simple technical. Either you fix it by policy, don't plug USBs in devices, or you deactivate the ports, or you put a solution that says you can write or read on encrypted USBs or whatever. We tend to forget, but paradoxically, and that's why I wanted to start with that, amazingly still used. Same old, same old.
All right, thank you very much, Dan. Domnul Dan Cîmpean, Directoratul Național pentru Securitate Cibernetică, totuși de 20 de ani vorbim de USB-uri și dacă suntem în același loc înseamnă că nu suntem chiar în locul potrivit, dar asta este o realitate și trebuie să ținem cont de ea. Ce rețin este că inteligența artificială poate fi utilizată aparent ceva mai bine de către bad guys.